Well, the M3 is the performance version of a 3 Series BMW, so of course it shares all the sheet metal with its non-performance sibling, but the performance division puts their own touches on it, and we can see that right here with this more sculpted, more aerodynamic hood right here with those two indents on the sides. You have this huge double kidney grille that's all covered in this piano black front view camera, BMW logo, lots of open spaces to let the air through, help with the cooling of the engine. And on the side, open air curtains for that better aerodynamics. You also have the splitter very nicely protruding from the front here, and the fully LED light setup. Now, what's different, of course, from the non-performance version is what's underneath the hood. And there were two different engine options available for 2023 BMW M3, the base one producing 473 horsepower, and the competition, which we have here, it's 503 horsepower. This is the inline 6-cylinder 3-liter engine, turbocharged and intercooled, really nicely looking, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, if you opted in for the base trim level, you could pick a 6-speed manual. Now, for 2024, BMW is adding another engine option, and that is the same 3-liter turbocharged and intercooled inline 6, but now on the CS series it produces about 543 horsepower, so a lot more powerful than this. Now, as far as the rest of the setup right here, you have no sound insulation, you have the dual latch for better safety and security, and then the hood is propped up by two hydraulic struts. Here on the side, it looks super sporty, very masculine, very athletic. I love the M series BMW, especially the 3 Series, for a long time, especially on the M3 since the E30 came out in the 80s. By the way, it's one of the most sought-after BMW M3s in the world right now. They went skyrocket, basically. The prices, one sold in the United States for about $250,000. It was a 1988 BMW M3, and that's just crazy. But let's get back to this one. I like the styling of it. I like how nice and aggressive it is. It's planted on the road. It's very wider as far over the wheels, both in front and in the back. And as far as the wheel setup, you have the 19-inch wheels, nice piano black wheels on here, BMW in the center, huge brakes in the back, and the calipers painted in red. As far as the wheel and tire setup, now we have the 275/35 in the front, 285/30 in the back, but the front ones are sitting on the 19-inch rim, the rear ones are sitting on the 20-inch rim, so staggered wheels and tires. I also like how aerodynamic this mirror looks. That also includes the turn signal front camera or side camera right here, and then this particular one also has the carbon fiber roof, which looks super cool, and it's also much lighter than the regular metal roof. Now, the side shape remains the same with the exception of the very aggressive side skirt right here at the bottom. And then let's move around and I'll show you that from the rear. And here it is in the back, super sporty and aggressive. Starting right here with this trunk lid spoiler right here, you have the M3 Competition on one side. This particular one is an X-Drive, which is an all-wheel drive, fully LED light setup. And look at this right here. I love how aggressive it is. Dual exhaust on each side, and this diffuser style lower portion of the bumper looks pretty cool. If you want to hear how it sounds, well, let's check it out. Well, now it's cool looking and all, but let's see if it's practical at all. So let's pop the trunk and let's see if we have any space in here. Wow, it actually does have quite a bit of space for a sporty vehicle. And as you can see, you got the 40-20-40 split on the seats. And this is pretty deep, all right? Nothing too crazy about it. You have your emergency road service. I believe this vehicle might be actually a European version. I can see all of this, unless it was a European delivery, because this is all like German numbers here or European numbers. Now, it also has the lock and close as far as the gate. That's automatic. And here it is. Now let's check out what's going on inside. So right on the door panel in here, you have nice materials. This is all covered in leather or maybe a leatherette. This is all soft plastic. You have some aluminum looking trim piece, and this is where the ambient lighting is. So you have the Harman Kardon stereo, and on the interior you have this dual color, like the light gray leather with black inserts. Now the black inserts are perforated right here. The seat belts also have the M colors on them, which looks really good. And right in the middle you have a console, which you also have the controls for your rear climate control and 2 USB-C ports. Now this is really a 4-seater because, you know, of this bump right here. And let's see, yeah, it does have 3 seat belts in the back, but if you also wanted to carry something longer in the trunk, you can do that by simply folding down this middle portion of the seats. Now let me jump inside, see if I have any room in there. And surprise, surprise, I actually have quite a bit of headroom. I'm 6 feet tall, or 5'11", and shoulder room is not bad at all. Even the knee room is not horrible. Let's take a look. And here it is. So I'm very close to this seat, but I'm not touching. I adjusted this seat to my regular driving position. I can actually see myself driving in the back or riding in the back in it for a while. Well, before we get inside, let's listen to the sound of the closing door. Nice and solid. There's your front door panel, similar to the back, but you do have 2 memory seat settings. You have the window mirror lock controls in here and the release for the trunk. Carbon cardon stereo, aluminum looking trim, so similar things as we see in the back. On the door sill you have the M3 logo, and the seat is adjusted any which way, and that also includes the manual adjustments for your thigh support. The seats are pretty bolstered, I gotta tell you. I mean, I'm borderline uncomfortable here, but you know, hopefully there's some adjustments that I didn't see. Now let me take this vehicle to the parking garage and show you the interior of it. And here we are in the interior of this 2023 BMW M3, and it's looking pretty darn good. Let's take a look at this. I like the ambient lighting. You can see that right here at the bottom of the dashboard, as well as on the sides, on the doors. You also have this carbon fiber trim matching the roof, 2 big screens, one larger one for the infotainment system, a little smaller one for the instrument cluster, and this particular one also has the head-up display. I'm not sure if you can see it. It says 0 miles per hour and limit, so that tells me that you can read the speed signs and it shows you what speed you're going with. Now, steering wheel, very nice and sporty. It's thicker in the right places, very nice to the touch. It also has the M brand colors right here on the contrast stitching, and of course this is a sporty vehicle, so you have this huge pedal shifters in the back and also 2 customizable M modes, so M1 and M2. Steering wheel has got carbon fiber inlays right here, very nice looking ones. On the left hand side you have the controls for the adaptive cruise control. You also have the cancel and resume for the regular cruise control, and on the right hand side you have the buttons that control what's going on in the instrument cluster, adjust the volume, voice control, and the phone button. At the bottom here you have the heated steering wheel, and right here in the instrument cluster you see it's all digital. On the left hand side you have the speedometer, right hand side it's got the gear indicator. You also have the tachometer on the right hand side. Right now we have a compass in here, but you can also change the content, what's going on in here. We can put the navigation in here, we can put a setup in here, so as far as the different settings for the drive modes. We can put the turbo PSI and the temperature, and then we can put the tire pressure, and back to sport display. It displays the horsepower and the torque, G meter or music. So depending on what we want to do in here, that's all available. Now, what's going on in the infotainment system? Now, this is the new infotainment system that BMW starts putting those in. I've seen it in the 7 series or the X7, and then I know that new X5 has it, so let's take a quick peek. Lots of icons, so you have all apps right now, and that includes your Sirius XM, telephone, navigation, seat comfort. Let's take a look. By the way, I sat in this seat that I'm sitting in right now. I was complaining about the bolsters, but the good thing, I can release the bolsters quite a bit, so that makes it for nice and comfortable sitting position. Interior lighting, that's probably where the ambient lighting is. Yep, there you go. You have the color. Now, how many we have? We don't have as many as on the Mercedes-Benz, which is 64. That's more like 10 or something. You have the dynamic light, or, you know, we can change the color. Let's see. I like the red one. You like the red one? Well, let's see. This is actually kind of peachy one. Flamingo, pearl. Okay, I guess blue it is. Let's go back in here. Go to the main screen, all the apps. So my phone is connected here, and I can have the Android Auto if I wanted to. Connected drive store doors and windows displays. All right, so you can instrument cluster. They can be customizable, so select M mode. We can do it in road or sport, so you can see that that changes, you know, as we select different drive modes. Configure content. You can put all of this inside of it, like I was going through that, or you can uncheck them and basically go to the regular settings. So display locations for list messages, so that's a head-up display, and here's your control display, head-up display. You can customize all of that. Driving settings. Well, let's take a look at this. Driver assistance, lane departure warning, or we can go to the setup in here, and we can go to the configuration of the M1 or M2 configuration. I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm not sure if they set it up purposely or if this was the default settings, but the M1 seems like the engine is sport, transmission is D2, and this is automatic shifting, sporty shift points, high shifting points. So okay, so this is not as sporty as the M2, because I've seen it on the M2 the transmission as S3, which is I think the fastest settings as far as the shifting. So chassis sport plus, steering sport. Okay, DSC is off, four-wheel drive start stop is off, M sound is on. So M2 looks like it's been configured to have the sporty settings, and we're going to leave it like this. Exterior lighting, vehicle status, and these are all of the apps that you have, so tons of it. You also have the regular oh, here's your Android Auto. I'm going to connect it through my phone. Actually, it's going to disconnect the phone that I'm recording probably. So all right, we're going to cancel this, but it does have the Android Auto. And then go back to the main menu, and here's your navigation. So once you click that, it's going to display it in the full window. We also have several different displays. So now it's my phone is connected, telephone, personal assistance, tires, engine, traffic, my BMW, route preview. We can add widgets. We can also go to the settings as far as the different audio sources. So you have the FM radio, AM radio, etc. Several different options that are available. Go back to the home screen. Very nice, responsive. Let's take a look at the rear view camera really quick. There you go. Here's your rear view camera, and I'm pretty close to the vehicle behind me, so it's giving me the audible warning, and pretty good quality. It also is giving me visual warning, so see where I'm close to different points that I could possibly hit. So you have the automatic parking backup assistance, different settings as far as the camera, so you can still adjust those. At the bottom, so you have the volume control, seek track, you have the max window defogger, rear window defroster. Now look at this, lots of carbon fiber here, looking pretty good. And when you open this up, you have the wireless charging pad over here, and then two cup holders, as well as the USB Type-C port. And right in the middle is your shifter, so park, to put it in park mode. That's what I'm going to do right now. This is where you adjust that shifting speed on right here on this shifter. And then on the left hand side, you can turn off the traction control off, turn on your rear view camera, turn on or off your parking sensors, automatic start stop button off. This is where you start the vehicle or stop it. Here's your M mode. All right, so we can select it from here. You can go to setup. Here's your shortcuts as far as the mode setup. Now we have that active exhaust on. You can turn it on or off, and auto hold feature for your brakes. And this is your controller for the infotainment system, so you can control the touchscreen. You can control it through here. This is more of the old school. Some people prefer that, so I'm glad the BMW actually left the ability to do it from here. And this is the pattern of how the gears work, and tiny little bit more storage right underneath here. And scrolling up here, so we have the regular size mirror, frameless design, and then you have two lights that can be turned on or off. Now this has the carbon roof, so it doesn't have the sunroof, but the visors have the mirrors and they're illuminated, which is really nice. So this is the interior of it. I'm excited because next I'm going to take it for a spin. So normally when I talk to you about any of the vehicles that I review, I have a sticker, the original manufacturer suggested retail price and all stuff. For this particular vehicle, I don't have it. It is a used vehicle and they didn't have it that came with it. So I can only tell you what the starting point is of the M3, 75,295 for 2023 model year, 77,695 for the competition. They also had the M3, which was the 50th anniversary edition, was 96,695, and for 2024 they're adding in the M3 CS, which is the more powerful engine. So let's take this for a spin and let's see how it drives. This is a sporty vehicle, so naturally it's going to be very stiff. So going over these bumps, you can feel every single one of them. But that's what the sports vehicle are. I mean, you have to kind of figure out what you want, whether you want sport, you want comfort, and decide based on that. Fortunate some have two, one for daily driving and one for performance, because this you really need for performance. As I mentioned before, I was able to adjust the seats so they're not crushing me on the side, so the bolsters are adjustable, and this is a good feature because, you know, some of those sport vehicles are definitely made for smaller people. And since we're in this parking lot right here and there's a lot of open spaces, I'm gonna see how many spaces does it take to turn this vehicle completely around to see how tight it is. So stop right here, steering wheel to the left, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4.5, 4 3/4 as far as the parking spots. It's pretty good, pretty good. Feels solid too. The steering wheel, on the other hand, I kind of wish it was a little bit stiffer. Not the steering wheel itself, but the steering. It's almost too soft. And this vehicle's got about 2,000 miles, so it is broken in, so that I don't get the comments that, oh my gosh, what do? You're killing the vehicle. Yes, guys, it's got 2,000 miles. It's broken in. I can push it a little bit, and that's what we're gonna do, trying to figure out of how fast it is. And that's coming out next after we merge in traffic. Ooh, open road. Well, it leaves me nothing but to do an acceleration test. You guys ready? Let's go. This thing flies. It really does. And this is with the 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, if you opted in for the regular M3, you can also get the 6-speed manual transmission. But that one is not as powerful, so it's a little bit slower. However, a lot of people say that it's a lot of fun to drive with manual. Now, the CS is going to be more powerful, also only offered with the automatic transmission. So this 503 horsepower is plenty, but if that's not going to scratch your itch, then go for the CS. It is going to be also about $20,000 more, I believe, somewhere in the 90s as far as the starting price for 2024 model year. But it had a little bit of a hesitation in the beginning when I started accelerating, it probably requires a little bit of brake torque, but that's plenty for me. I don't know what the actual number was as far as the acceleration, but definitely, you know, comparable with like the Corvette C8. And this is a sedan. Now, some people compare it to the CT4 Blackwing. Now, I've done the CT4 Blackwing, and I think I like this one better. They're both a very similar size. The CT4 just didn't feel as good. As far as the competition, of course, there's a Mercedes-Benz C63. There's also a Cadillac Blackwing CT4V, which I've done on the channel before. I actually think that this one's a little bit nicer. And there's Alfa Romeo Giulio Quadrifoglio, which is also in the same compact vehicle category, and that is pretty much it if you're looking at the compact performance sedans. So very nice. We're going to turn it around and see like the rolling acceleration here. Wow, this thing is a rocket. How about, all right, and we can do it manual shifters, and yes, see, I can adjust the speed of the shifters. It displays right up front. Right now I'm at speed number 1, but I can adjust it to 2, and again, knock it down a little bit, reduce it, and yes, very quick. And I like the steering wheel. Now the steering wheel stiffens a bit when it's going faster, but I still would like it to be a touch stiffer as far as the feel of it, but overall a solid vehicle. Now the inline 6, the power and the sound of it is incredible. Now Mercedes-Benz is going with the smaller displacement in the 4-cylinder, so I guess whatever rocks your boat, this is good. This is very good. I like it. I think definitely it can be a daily driver. I'm going to put it in this more comfortable mode in here. Oh yeah. So you can see, or well, I can see, or I can feel rather, so I can feel the suspension kind of loosened up a little bit. We have definitely a more relaxed style driving. So the sedans are definitely slowly giving away to the SUVs. So the manufacturers are building the performance versions of the SUVs, hence we have the BMW X3M Competition, and I've driven one of this. Beautiful vehicle, but this is a different driving dynamics. It's a lower center of gravity. You feel more connected to the road, you feel more connected to the vehicle, and I think that for driving enthusiasts, this definitely would be a better solution than the X3M. Now, as far as the pickup here, really nice. No problems. It accelerates up to 70, even in this more relaxed mode. And I'm going to take it back to the dealerships. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you like this video. If you like watching videos like this, check out the rest of my channel. Give me a subscribe, give me a like, and hit that bell notification ring bell so you won't miss any of the content that's coming out. And I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.